6.1 million people in South Africa are infected with AIDS, of which 240,000 yearly die. 2.5 million children lose their parents and become orphans, which causes them big development issues. People stay poor, don't get educated, and don't find proper jobs. That's what drives them into crime and prostitution. In 1990, Marion and Conclude set up the Botshabelo Community in Magaliesberg, South Africa. Marion, Con, and two of the daughters take care of more than 1,000 people. The community exists of a school, an orphanage, medical clinic, and village.
Just grew up, born in Kenya, saw the terrible social injustices, and decided that my whole life and career would be around trying to just equalize some things. Realizing that I came from a privileged home in comparison to people living around us, I just realized that the inequity was terrible. And I was young. My parents really went out of their way to try and teach us not to be racist in any way, but it's very hard for colonial parents to do that, because it's the whole basis of colonialism is there's a lot of racism involved. And when I eventually came down to South Africa, I finished my education here and went to university and decided that I had to do something bigger with my life. And that was to help, firstly, the children. That was before we had AIDS. It was about how apartheid was just destroyed everything. Destroyed lineages, destroyed homes. People were dislocated mentally, emotionally, and physically. And it took a lot. And after Mandela and the ANC liberated the country, then there was a decision again about do we leave the country and continue living as privileged people, or do we give back to a lot of what was our fault and our parents' fault and our ancestors' fault? Because I've got grandparents and we've been on the continent since 1600s, 1620 I think, 1700s, and I felt that we had to give back.
Yes, we started first with the school, and then we developed further and further and further into the health situation, and then into a complete village as we have now. And that was only by addressing the critical needs, not even the needs, just the critical needs of people living in the rural areas. I spoke to a woman in Sandton, one of the wealthiest suburbs in the country, and she was saying, but you know, you people put too much into what you're doing. I said, lady, have you ever gone hungry? And I'm not talking about breakfast time to tea time or tea time to lunchtime. I'm talking about going hungry, where we have had situations where we had a family of 7 kids, and one can pick up the signs in the classrooms when you're dealing with children, the signs of hunger. And it came out that these 7 kids had been living on potato juice. They'd boiled potatoes and they drank the water because they said that that's what fills them up, that gives them that full feeling. No nourishment, no nutrition, no nothing. They lived on that for 5 days.
I've been living in this place for almost 16 years now. Came here when I was still 6 years old. So I grew up in this place and I've really liked it because it's a good place to be and it's safe and there's more opportunities for you to get while you're here. Get everything here, like you've got a great family that looks after you. So that's what kept me here.
All I know that I dealt, where I was introduced to the Flying Carpenters, I think they came through Nicole, they heard about the organization through someone else, and they heard about us and they approached us. The Flying Carpenters have the skill and the access to finances, and we have the youth that are in such desperate trouble. So what has helped with it is that we can prevent people going to jail or going into prostitution, which are the two things that happen. It's crime or prostitution, and it's a shame that someone's life is lost that way. And so we had to come up with something, and it looks like this would be such a good partnership because this is a world problem. Our youth is not our problem alone. It's your problem and the world's, because we have to help each other, especially youth. Youth have to come together and fix what the parents have ruined in the past. They tried, they messed up, especially in the colonial countries, where they went in and really pillaged and really never took the indigenous people on board. This is a huge problem through the countries, and it has to be corrected. And this is our opportunity. And ironically enough, coming from Holland is where we originally all came from. So it's our ancestry, especially my husband, Con. He is from Holland. And it's a nice give, I think a nice give back to the continent, and not in it's not like dishing up money. It's coming and saying, okay, let's have a partnership. Let's make it real. And what's real is to give a skill. It's not real just to give money. It's much more real to say, I'm going to buy you a pair of pants. I'm going to pay for someone to teach you. Then that is real giving.
My name is Lazarus, surname Mukhosi, and I've been here forever. I'd say forever, because I've been here since the age of 5, and I'm 28 now. Okay, so basically what I do here, this is actually home, my home, because I grew up here. So what I do here is I'm actually in charge of maintenance. I have worked with flying carpenters before, and they can actually contribute a lot to us. Because for instance, that's a skill, right? Like it's a skill being transferred. So most of the young guys around here have actually got no jobs and have got no skills. So carpentry around here, it's a very big thing. So that would actually be a very great idea, because most of the guys who are living here are jobless. We've actually got no jobs around here. The only job you can get is becoming a laborer, and that's not what we want to like become and everything, because they treat you like that and everything. So carpentry is something that it's actually a skill that you can transfer to us, and we can take it from there and decide what we want to do with it. We can like make a career out of it and actually make a living out of it. So that would be very great if you transfer the skill.
Because now it's difficult for most of our youth around to find jobs. The only job that you can go and find is at the field, digging for cabbages. While you're educated, that's not nice for most.
My dream is for everybody to have choices. And I'm in the perfect country because Madiba taught us that there are no countries. There are just us human beings. And if we don't hold hands, there is no future. So that is my wish, that everybody has choices. When you have a choice, you have a life. When you have a life, you have a future. And when you have a future, you have peace in the world.
When